He's ready to go on the Fan, New York Sports Radio. Mike's on, Mike's on. He'll get you the sports any way that he can. It's Mike Francesa on the Fan. Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM, WFAN.
From the studios of WFAN, this is Mike's on Francesa on the Fan on this last Football Friday in October, and it is a real Football Friday despite the presence of World Series Game 3. Not a great weekend in the NFL. The NFL doesn't usually overschedule against the 1 week they know they're against the World Series. This is the week. And they could get a very big game number 5 on Sunday night against them with Kershaw on the mound in that game, according to their manager. Game 3 tonight as we get ready with Darvish against McCullers. The scene shifts to Houston, where Houston has played so well. And the Dodgers, who let one get away in Game 2, now have to get a win, at least one, to send the series back to Los Angeles again, and you've heard their manager, who had a very rough Game 2, say that no matter what happens tonight, he will not pitch Kershaw in Game 4. We'll see if that sticks, because, they'll turn around and look and see, hey, we're down 2-1. We can pitch him on 3 days rest twice if we need him. That's going to be the draw, the allure of doing that versus, and he might even push for that, versus the idea of just having him once more. But look at the downside. The downside is you commit to him in Game 4, he loses, and then you're staring at Game 5 with a chance to be shut out and not get back. You have to have the belief that leave him on full rest, and no matter what happens in these next 2 games, he can get you back to Los Angeles. That's the other way of looking at this. So we'll see how they handle it if they lose game number 3, which they haven't done yet. McCullers, who pitched so well against the Yankees, goes to the mound tonight. You saw him as a guy who just pitched brilliantly against the Yankees in the ALCS and finished up the series in Game 7 by throwing 28 consecutive curveballs. He'll be on the mound against a talented pitcher in Darvish. So we'll see what happens as the scene shifts there. The fallout from Joe Girardi continues as the Yankee manager. And again, we don't know when Joe will talk. When he does, he will talk with us. But he said his representation said it could be a couple days before that happens. We'll see where it goes. So the Yankees, after a decade with Joe Girardi, move into a new era, an era where they will be far more governed by the general manager's office and the new metrics, and less so by a new manager, but they'll still have a new manager, and we'll wait to see who that is. It will not be named until the World Series is over. The Yankees said they will commit to that, and you will not hear from Cash until the World Series is over. So we'll have at least another 4 or 5 days of quiet before we get to that. We'll see where Joe Girardi goes. The logical place would be Washington. We'll see what happens there. Last night, a terrible football game. 2 teams that have no offense, and one didn't even show up at all. And obviously, another quarterback goes down. So you have that going on with last night. And now we get into Week 8 in the league. The Giants mercifully get a week off, and we get a ho-hum week of football. Although one of the more interesting teams in the league does come to New York with the Atlanta Falcons, who have all of a sudden forgot how to play offense. They come here having lost 3 straight games to take on the Jets. And this one, well, we'll wait till we get a little into the show before we get into some analysis. But this one will be a tough one for the Jets. It's not a great week of games, as we said. The Sunday night games, the Steelers and the Lions, Chiefs and Broncos on Monday, and the Broncos have fallen on hard times. But we'll do all the football stuff today with Schrager and Billick and Dr. O'Brien. We'll also talk to Mike Stanton about the Astros. And really what I want to know from him is how they feel about this bullpen right now. And what guys do they feel they can go with? Because their bullpen has been awful in this series, especially the main 2 guys in their bullpen. So you got a guy in Stanton who knows his way around bullpens, knows his way around postseason bullpens, did a great job for the Yankees in the bullpen, especially in 2000 when they beat the Mets. He won 2 games in that series and was really superb in that series. He was always a clutch pitcher in big spots. We'll see what he thinks as they try to figure out what they're going to have to do. They can't they can't every night go to the starters in the bullpen if they got to pitch Morton tomorrow. So they're not going to have that kind of cover. They're going to have to go in their bullpen. McCullers is not more than a 5-6 innings pitcher at best. He might throw 5-6 shutout innings, but that's all you're going to get out of him tonight. So they're going to be in the bullpen tonight. And how they handle that is going to be interesting because their bullpen has been awful. Absolutely awful. And they didn't even feel strong enough that they could beat the Yankees with their bullpen. They beat them with starting pitchers in Game 7, where Morton and McCullers combined for for the performance that they did, and they were virtually unhittable, in that game, as they just stopped the Yankees cold. So we got all that. We got a little college football. We'll do something on the Penn State, Ohio State, which is the best game tomorrow. Danielson is a little under the weather, so he won't join us today. He's going to be, I don't know what's wrong, but I know he's sick, so he won't be with us today. But we'll do a little on that, too, because that's probably the best football game of the whole weekend, and that is Penn State, Ohio State, with enormous title implications. Ohio State loses, they're out. Penn State, I wouldn't say they were out if they lost a tight game, but most scenarios will leave them on the outside looking in if they fall in this game. You could, because they're undefeated and they're ranked as highly as they could, you could see them somehow get back in the mix if they won out from here. But it would sure help if they won this game. And if they do, it gives them a very, very strong chance to be the other team in the playoff, as far as maybe the other team to beat behind Alabama, which is clearly, as always, the team to beat, and is again this year the team to beat in college football. So we'll do a little bit on that too. So we got a lot to do today. We'll get it all rolling on this Football Friday right at